And everybody, welcome to the Friday, December 20th edition of the Arkansas Diamond Report with Dudley Dawson. I'm Jason Patterson. I want to thank you guys for jumping on with us today. And man, it's pretty stinking cold out there this morning.
Yeah, I saw that it was at 10 earlier this morning while I was sleeping. Now up to a balmy 25 or so. Yeah, that's a cold Christmas coming, I guess.
It is.
Before anybody has any questions, this is the one of the early Christmas gifts, a Golden Knights Christmas T-shirt.
Nice, man. How was the trip with the family?
Well, they spent a lot of time in the airport. I got the opportunity to see our grandson via FaceTime. So didn't actually get where we wanted to go in time, but the airport did book us. We're going back January 17th through 20th. So looking forward to that. It was not the best weekend. In fact, I think it was. As I was telling Mike Neighbors the other day, it was straight out of that movie Terminal. That Tom Hanks was in 2004. But it was not. I was not on the watch list, the Homeland Security watch list. So that was good.
I mean, at least you didn't have to seek asylum from Cracovia either.
Yes, or whatever you say that. Yeah. We're looking forward to seeing both of our away kids, as it is, in Denver and Lancaster, Pennsylvania, in January. 2 trips there. The one to see Camille has absolutely nothing to do with the Celtics playing the Denver Nuggets on January 7th. Just happens to be a coincidence. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I would just stick with that one. I mean, I wouldn't expand on it any further than that. It just is a happenstance thing that they happen to be there. So, man, I'm going to tell you, I root for Mike Neighbors each week, not only as a person, but as a basketball coach. And they're on a 3-game skid. I mean, Texas Tech, Liberty, and Troy now. They got UCA coming up the 29th. They got some time off for Christmas. I want to see this. I want to see this team turn it around.
Yeah, this is not, regardless of what you think of the job he's doing as a coach, and it's 6-8. It isn't where he wants to be. It isn't where his team wants to be. It certainly isn't where the fans want to be.
Yeah.
He recognizes, and he said in his post-game radio show after the Wednesday night loss, that it's frustrating. He realizes that's frustrating for the fans as well. They had great prep. Then, just started out flat, had a great middle of the game, obviously, really showed what they're capable of. And you got to give Nika Galaya some props. She's starting to come on there in the post for them. I think, again, a double-figure scoring last night. Mm-hmm. So, it's hard for them, and he gets it. He knows that this isn't the way the season needs to be going, and it's just going to get tougher from here. While I'm not trying to discredit the 3 teams they lost to this week, they're not at the top of the SEC. They're not even maybe in the middle of the SEC. It's going to be brutal for them after, once they get into conference play. There are some things that you can look at the positives. Obviously, getting Phoenix Stotson back is a big thing. But last night she went 1 for 10 and 1 of 8. That's going to be from 3. That's going to be expected as she tries to shake off rust after not playing for a year and a half. In a competitive situation, at least in college. I think she may have done it internationally, but it's tough. I think there's some things to be excited about, but this is not the way he wanted to go into Christmas, not the way the team wanted to go into Christmas, certainly not the way the fans want to go into Christmas. Other than portal victories, it's been pretty bare around here in terms of what you're trying to do out there on a basketball court. I mean, I try to do it in sports, except for both the men's basketball team has obviously done a really good job.
They have. Looking at what Mike has got on the bench, they 17 points against Troy. I mean, they had they had some. I mean, it wasn't like they were completely out of it. They, I mean, like you said, second and third quarter, it was even. I mean, it was dead even. It was honestly, it really was that fourth quarter. I mean, they only got outscored by 5, but really, that was really the deciding factor in them staying up with Troy. And again, it's the bench. I know that was 17 points, but you've also got to look at, Carly Keats. She didn't have her best game. She only had 3 points in the starting spot. I mean, I know that Mike is going to eventually make a couple of moves as far as the starting lineup goes, I would think. But at this point, you've got to have more production from your bench.
Yeah, you had 5 players last night, I think, play over 32 minutes. I know they were in the 30s. I think it was everybody played 32, and that's just not the best thing for them. And you're wearing down Izzy, who's having a phenomenal season, averaging 24 points, which is I think a half point more than she did last year. She's 4th in the country in scoring, leads the SEC. Jenna Lawrence has had some really good games. Obviously, we talked about Nika. As you mentioned, Carly Keats was on fire during that last win that they had. It is a situation where they don't have enough depth, they don't have enough experience, and to be honest, they don't have enough defenders that match up well. They went into the game last night, and Coach Neighbors said he stressed not giving up points in the paint. They gave up, or 2 nights ago, and they gave up 38. Yeah. And that's make everybody shoot threes. But I watched the game on Stadium, which we have on YouTube TV here, and they just constantly were in the paint. And even when they Arkansas made the run, they had the opportunity Toledo had the opportunity to get those shots inside. They just didn't hit them during that run, and they had some turnovers.
Yep, and I think if this does happen to turn around, I think this would be Coach Neighbors' best job that he has done as far as not only preparing these ladies, but also putting them in a position to execute efficiently. And at some point, he's got to also go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, this isn't working. What else can we do with the ladies that we have? And I think that's where he's at right now at this point.
Yeah, it's a cool soundbite, and I truly believe when he said it, he meant it, and maybe he still does. But he said he was having the most fun ever coaching. Well, that can be part of it, but the frustration of losing close games, losing games where you had leads. Although, to be honest, they led for a total of 2 minutes in these last 2 games. And, that's not a recipe for victory. You could see the frustration now. I mean, you could sense it. I would have, my head would have exploded by now in some of these things they've had. They have certainly had moments where they've been connected, where they've shown what they can do. Also, the second, third quarters against Toledo, were a vision of that, but nothing in the start of the game, nothing at the end of the game. You go 29-10 down early in the second quarter against Toledo, and then you only have 1 basket last 5 minutes after you took a lead. On Izzy's old-fashioned 3-point play. And it's just, he made it clear last night on the radio after the games that it's going to be a longer Christmas break than it seems like 6 days, before they're back at it, practicing. And then, as you said, they play UCA. But what a frustrating way to go into the holidays, I guess.
It is, and whenever you are on a 3-game skid like that, and then it's backed up with a long break like this, the only thing you want to do is you want to get back out on the court, and you want to keep, hammering away, trying to find something that's going to work. And now they've just got to kind of sit and kind of mill on it for a while.
Yeah, there's always the rust versus rest argument, and no matter what sport, that's going to be interesting in this bowl game for both Texas Tech and Arkansas.
Yep.
I thought Otis did a really good job of getting the depth chart up for football this morning.
Yes, he did.
Your story on the predictions was real good as well. Some good copy up there today. I'm going to have some starting today. I'm going to have Texas Tech stories. As we kind of take a closer look at what they've got going. But when I looked at Otis's, depth chart he has there, it is
Swiss cheese.
Some of the names on it, man. I do this for a living, and some of the names were a little bit new to me. And that's I think I read, and I'll have more on that today. Texas Tech hadn't had a lot of opt-outs. And so they're going to go into this game with a roster with more players that got them to 8 wins than Arkansas is going to go into it with the one that got them 6 wins. And I've said this on an Atlanta show this week, but I understand that people were upset when 25 people, or so, you have to constantly check to see who got in, who got out, who got back in. I can understand why people are upset. But again, I repeat the line, and I'm serious about it. You can't get too upset that you're losing 25 guys from a 6-6 team. If you're losing from a 10-2 team, absolutely. Of course, you'd be in the playoffs, and maybe they'd still be playing. Although there's been some that have opted out that are second teamers.
Yep.
Or going to the pros or get ready for pros.
It's the starters that you lose that you really kind of just the burn kind of hits a little bit.
I understand the frustration. They have appeared to be doing a really good job in the portal to this point. And you've got to give them credit for that. They're certainly gotten some big guys on the offensive line, need to finish that out. It closes again right after Christmas, and I think there's a 5-day window as soon as the bowls or the playoffs over that you can. But that's going to be somebody that's won't be here during the spring, I don't think.
Yeah.
So we'll take a look and see what they get. They've done a good job, but I get the frustration. Again, I just remind people that qualified 6-6 team. You're obviously not having Andrew Armstrong, obviously not having 3, I think it is, offensive linemen.
Yep.
Wide receivers. It's not Landon Jackson, honestly. Those are going to be tough to not have next year and all that. But also, let's see let's see how shopping goes for the rest of the portal period and see what they do before you jump off the cliff.
You can hear my sound producer Max over here. I think he's wanting something. I don't know, man. Watch out, dude. Hold on.
My 2 are in there, and they know that after I get a shower every day, they get a treat. So you may have mine here at the door in a minute, encouraging me. I've got a little bitty dog just bullying me now, trying to get me in the shower. So
it's always the smallest ones too.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the smallest ones. Last Friday, Max had to have his ear cleaned out. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, he's had a tough year, hasn't he?
He has. He had torn ACL in January. Now the ear thing, and he's on prednisone. So the thing is that now he's drinking a ton, and he's a hound, so he has an insatiable hunger. But now you have prednisone on top of it, and it's like that times 1,000. So anytime that he can try to get a snack or something here and there, I understand what you're talking about, because he's constantly on my case. He's wanting something to eat. And I'm
who was on the shelf? Who was on the shelf longer this year, Max or Jalen Braxton?
Oh, I don't know.
Part of the contingent that's now headed to Ole Miss as Arkansas continues to be a kind of a grooming session to to go on down, or minor league team or whatever. And I'm.
Man, I'm telling you, I don't understand. Okay, I'm gonna go on I'm not gonna TED talk this for a second, but I'm gonna just kind of put this out there. We've talked about where this, Arkansas is a 6-6 team. You've had a plethora of injuries. and which have been questioned a lot. I understand that, and what I find funny is that the ones that were injured go to the place where they fake the most injuries possibly on the field. So now it's like they've tried to. I'm not saying Lane Kiffin has said this himself, and he'll never admit it, but you've got a place where they are coming out and saying, hey, you know what? Get that last year of eligibility, keep it in your back pocket, come back and come see us. And I feel like that's where they're kind of at right now. Luke has complete different story. That was just more of a utilization thing more than anything else. I understand why he left. I get it. I mean, at this point, he's a tight end / wide receiver, and you've got he has to do what he's for his production wise. I get what Luke was doing, but Jalen Braxton, Pat Kudus, I don't understand that. I know that they're chasing money. I mean, anybody, the way I look at it, unless it's playing time like Luke has, for instance, that you're not getting the production. Me, I think that it's more of a money grab than anything else, and it stinks to high heaven. That's why I put that thing out last Saturday that things are starting to sound fishy. They are. I mean, that end of story.
Yeah, clearly the Ole Miss Mafia wanted to quiet me and turned off my computer. As I was kidding.
The Lane Kiffin hack.
I am not accusing them of outright doing something. They are taking advantage of the way the NCAA allows you to do things. And I understand why that's so frustrating for Arkansas fans. I mean, this is a guy that they thought was going to be their head coach in Lane Kiffin, and I've always had I think a good relationship with him. Although if you ask him who he was, who I am, he might not remember because it's been a while since he was a baby up here, but I think that makes the season even more frustrating. If they go over there and lose in 6 and 7, there'll be a lot of griping, as there should be. I expected to win 4 or 5 games this year. 6 is more than I thought, but then again, that they did not reach the maximum potential that they had in them as it went through the season when we saw how some of these guys played. And yes, Taylon Green, had an up and down year, but if you don't have him here, you sure don't get to 6.
No.
And obviously, Ja'Quinden Jackson hurt. You don't have him here, you certainly don't get to 6. It's not a goal. Getting to a bowl shouldn't be the gold standard. It's not what needs to do. But you're in a league that is just an absolute witch. And I used W. That's a W to start. Got called by the FCC early on in my radio career when they thought I used the word B starting, but it's a witch. And what you just have to deal with is if you're going to be in this conference. It's just I know frustrating for fans and no doubt coaches. And man, I bet if you could get a few cold ones down, Sam, he'd have plenty to say about the shuttle. Let's just call it the shuttle.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss in Arkansas right now.
Yeah, it seems like that there's a bullet train between Oxford and Fayetteville at this point.
I get a little bit of the Kudus thing. From Memphis, Christian Brothers, Ole Miss is close.
Yep. A lot of family.
Yeah. We only know one side of the if I'm going to keep you out of this game and save your red shirt, that that's what we were told. I'd like to talk to him, hear his side of it. Speaking of Jalen Braxton, he had a parting shot on his way out the door saying that Arkansas misdiagnosed his injury and all that, but he will be ready for spring drills and play next season.
Yep.
Interesting is all I'm saying. Fishy, interesting,
Lots of adjectives that you could throw into that one.
Yeah, but the Kudos is close, so I understand that. But it's never we do it. We jump to conclusions. We jump to assumptions. It's never good to state it as something definitively. But man, I tell you what, Perry Mason would close out this case.
Oh yeah,
all the coincidental evidence, or all.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, Leslie Byram. Can the new players coming in from the portal play in the bowl game, or do they have to wait until next season? They have to wait until next season.
That's my understanding. But then I read something from Ole Miss that Jalen Braxton said he might could have played in the bowl, or he might, and I'm like, what? So I'm gonna have to research that a little bit. Like I said, I'm getting back more to football today. Texas Tech stuff, writing about their coordinators this weekend as well. Their switch at quarterback, obviously their starting quarterback is had surgery. It's interesting. Arkansas's beaten Texas Tech a couple of times for portal guys, so at least they got that going for them.
Yep.
The rules of the NCAA, and we witch about this all the time. They just allow you just to do whatever you want, really.
Yeah, I mean, it went like the NFL. They went from the no fun league to the complete fun league, and now you went from the completely restricted portal to the unrestricted portal at this point.
There were no power for the kids. Now they have too much, but that's because of what the adults did, not the kids. Kids are taking advantage of what the adults have put out there and set forth without thinking too much. And yes, you kids get out of my yard, but that's just the way I feel. And thankfully, surely it will come back to the mean. They'll get it fixed somehow. Surely, I think. Yeah. And, but right now, I used to say it was the wild, wild west. It's rougher than that now. I would not want to be a head football coach or one of the 9 to 10 that can get on the road recruiting right now. It's just a madness right now, and especially in this month of December when you're trying to get ready for bowl games and playoff games. You're having to go through all this portal stuff. Your people are flying out the door. You got visits coming in. I saw that one of the guys that visited here is going to SMU for a visit this weekend. How does that work?
I have no idea. That's a really good question, because I mean, Rhett Lashley and them, they have a pretty stout game against Penn State coming up this weekend.
They are booked this weekend.
Yeah. I don't understand how that works. I mean, do they leave a staffer behind to show them around campus? I mean, I'm sure that they got a GA somewhere that could probably show them the nuts and bolts of the place. But I mean, you don't get the full treatment. I don't understand why a player would want to visit on the weekend that they're going to be gone to Happy Valley.
And that's you would think he probably wouldn't go there, but then again, they're in the playoffs. Yeah. And that's your best selling point right now. Not your campus, which not Dallas, which we know are great places.
Yep.
They've got plenty of money. I mean, some dude dropped a bucket on them of oil landman money on them, and so they're not hurting. But yeah, it's just interesting that he's going down there this weekend. But it won't be because he has a great complete visit.
Yeah, man. It's going to be some interesting times over the next couple of years as this stuff all shakes out, because you and I both know, having teenagers, that whenever you give teenagers the keys to the car, they're not going to drive it at the speed limit. They're going to sit out there and they're going to do donuts, and they're going to squall tires, and they're going to see what they can get away with. Can they outrun the cops if they're even that bolden? I feel like that's where we're at with a lot of this stuff, because now, like you said, giving a teenager too much autonomy in the portal has really manifested some crazy stories with asking for travel for family and friends and cars for families and all that other stuff too.
Are you kidding me? We are now going to let kids go to junior college for 2 years and then have 4 years of major college eligibility.
Should call that the Diego Pavia rule now, man.
People in there too. I mean, how? Jesus.
Limbo Parks would have loved that one back in the day. If he...
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Now you've got a cornerback that's coming in from junior college, and now instead of having 1 and 2 to 3 years, now he's got all 4 years coming into Arkansas now.
Nuts, isn't it? It's nuts. Now I don't think he'll be here all 4 years because he'd be about 30 by then. But
yeah,
you know, how about Alan Bowman, back 7th year? You know, I still have not been able to validate whether KJ Jefferson has asked for another year in the portal, like it's been reported or not.
Mm-hmm. I know, man. I know. It's. I would say it's head scratching, but it's really not head scratching. It's more head shaking at this point.
It's a job now. Instead of getting out in the real world, you get all your meals, you get a salary, you go to work. You know,
yeah.
Or you think they're gonna go to class?
Now you're gonna
8 in the 7th and 8th year. You think they're gonna go to class? Get out of here.
No, they're gonna be 26 years old.
They're gonna do dock them in a year.
Man, this is just insane craziness. I'm telling you. Well, Dudley, I'm gonna get you out of here, man. Everybody, remember, do your Christmas shopping. Go spend some time with your loved ones. Watch us if you get bored, but spend it with your family because you never know what next year could happen and you never know what's going to roll around. So spend time with your loved ones and get all those moments in because tomorrow, Dudley, as well as I know, is never promised. So you got to make the most of it with the time you got with them.
Yeah, and you know that leads us in. I think we had Bob's celebration of life after our broadcast last week. It was wonderful. Coach Richardson speakers did a great job. I thought it was funny when Coach Richardson got up there and said he can't walk anymore and can't talk anymore, and then he was eloquent, you know, as he's ever been. But that was a beautiful thing, and that's a reminder that we should all do our best to take care of ourselves. Part of the reason I went to go to the knee surgeon yesterday, and he wants me to have a new knee, but we're putting that off for a while. We're going to do a brace and some cortisone shots. I got one. So if you see me not limping today, you'll know that the cortisone's working, and you'll know when it goes off because I'll go back to limping. But apparently too much exercise for me and getting up were the main factors in this.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to say because even Coach Richardson took a shot at Baz. And that was kind of funny. He's like, "Hell, I'm moving as slow as fast as you are right now."
Yeah, it was a great deal. He was a great guy. Loved him, and you know, it's just wake up every day, you know, thinking that how in the world, but you know, as you said, we're not given the next day, so make today good. Go see Kevin Nealon at the Grove tonight. Make today good.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Go and see him tonight. He's been very gracious with the Grove. Been here, I think, the last 4 or 5 years total. So Patriot and I have shirts with the pictures with him, but I'm gonna try to get one with him in this shirt tonight.
Dude, that'd be really stinking cool. That would be really cool, man. Well, have fun tonight at the Grove. And I know Kevin Nealon never disappoints. He is so stinking funny, man. He really is. But we're going to get out of here. And Dudley, get ready for that. And we'll see you all next week. I'll come out on Monday with a little bit maybe of an altered schedule as far as pregame or a pregame show or a postgame show with the Liberty Bowl. Also, Dudley with his show here too as well. And we'll get all of that sorted out because, as you know, the Liberty Bowl is on Friday, which we'll be traveling. So we'll have to see kind of where what we do there. But I promise you guys, we'll get you all set up with all the info that you need, and we will see you all next week. This has been the Arkansas Diamond Report with Dudley Dawson. I'm Jason, and you all take care and go Hogs.